Rich, I love you. Yeah, buddy. And you know what? Who needs Galen, right? Galen was invited, but who needs Galen when we've got the Incredible Hulk? What's up, Grumpy?
I got nothing. I got nothing. I mean, I figure with Galen doing important things and me. Oh, wait a minute. Where? Oh, yeah. Oh, important things. I'd show up and I don't know, drink seltzer water.
You know, this was a pleasant surprise. I put the link out there, and I was thinking maybe Galen would come on. I wasn't expecting you, but this is spectacular. I know you're usually quite busy doing stuff, but you seem to have the day off, so it's good to see you. It's always good to see you. How have you been?
Guys, I wish I had something exciting to say. I just work, putting around the house, wearing way too much perfume.
It's like it's become the meaning of life recently, hasn't it? Just to wear perfume.
Well, I've been having fun with. I've done this intentional sort of no buy, and it's kind of interesting what happens when you stop buying perfume and just wear the shit out of it. What you actually end up wearing. So, it just reminds me of the days back when we had like 20 designer perfumes to choose from at our local department store, and the internet didn't exist, and I don't know. It's just I'm enjoying my sort of conscious stroll back down memory lane.
Awesome. Have you been wearing anything special recently? Anything that stands out? Who's that gentleman?
I'm really glad I don't normally go on these like hoarding hauls, but I went absolutely berserk on Gianfranco Ferre for man. Just really kind of, it was, oh man. And I've been wearing the shit out of that, and I love it. And it's just fun to get to know a perfume and all sorts of weather conditions and moods, and it makes me think about having to actually work to like a perfume, which I realize is not fashionable these days to do, but it just reminds me of back in the day when you'd smell a new release at a department store. You'd be like, well, I don't really like it right now, but it's all that's for sale.
Yeah.
I'll buy it and hopefully end up liking it. So, that's kind of fun.
Do you find that harder to wear, Gianfranco Ferre? Because you said something about having to work to enjoy it. What does that mean?
The older bottles of that, the ones with the glass down the middle, are so loaded up with oak moss that if you wear that in any sort of humidity, I mean, it's really, frankly, sometimes it's just not pleasant. I mean, I know there's kind of this trend right now where a lot of the older masculine juggernauts are sort of held up on this pedestal, but they're a bitch to wear sometimes. I mean, I don't, I'm all for, believe me, I love the old, juggernauts as much as the next guy, but holy shit, man. I mean, it's like, wow, rivers of oak moss are radiating off my body and I'm getting weird looks from my coworkers. I wonder why.
Rivers of oak moss. That's a good one. Yeah.
I don't know.
Would you agree that some of those are, as artistic as they are, they just kind of are more art than they are wearable? Do you ever
Yeah,
run
I
into
think we've
businesses like
become
that?
spoiled by what we consider wearable. I mean, anybody now can find something that's wearable. I mean, there's what, 20,000 new releases last year. I mean, all you need to do is just bamboozle some credit card company out of sending you some sort of high limit credit card, and you can find something wearable. I mean, I would argue we were sort of in like the golden age of perfume, where literally you can, I mean, Jesus, man, you can find any scent you want. I
Mm.
mean, it's just crazy. If you want to smell like a raspberry souffle or a dirty men's lower regions. I mean, it's all possible now. It's really quite. It's almost too easy, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, and I think it was in a backroom conversation, and I'm pretty sure it was you. And I almost have to agree with you. As much as you love Serge Lutens, you find them unwearable, and I find that too. As much as I love the artistry of them, there's lots of times where I'm like, damn, this does challenge me, as in the sense where I don't want to. I couldn't wear this every day.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I'll just pick on Koros. I love Koros. I love all iterations of it, new, old, in between, what have you. But there is no way in hell I'm going to wear, let's say, a bottle of Koros from, I don't know. Let's just pick a year. 90. Let's say you're lucky enough to have a bottle of Koros in relatively good condition from, say, 1998. There is no way in hell, I'm wearing that to work. I mean, I may like half a spray, maybe a whole spray, but my God, man, you wear that to work and start sweating and your body starts warming up. I, nah,
Mm,
hard
mm,
pass. I leave that for home.
gotcha.
Well, I mean, if you worked in an office and wore that, you'd have to have coworkers who were perfume addicts.
Yeah, yeah, you'd probably be sent home.
Actually, yeah, and I don't want to be like melodramatic by agreeing with you there, but I mean, I can see an HR department like giving you a little memo saying, you either A, need to shower, or B, tone it down, because, people these days aren't used to that stuff. Nobody smokes anymore. So nobody needs, these big dogs.
Rich Mitch, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. Well, this is a very pleasant surprise to have you both on here.
It's a
How's
pleasant surprise to be here.
right? Were you surprised to see Thomas here as well?
I was absolutely elated. I was chuffed. I was. I don't know. I haven't got really many more words. I was.
That's
I was.
fine.
I
That's
was
that's enough. That's a lot of
bewildered.
words. We don't want to let Galen feel left out, right? We need to save some words for Galen. Hopefully, he'll
Oh,
join
I've
us.
got some words for Galen.
What is
I'm
it
not
you want
sure if
Galen to know?
he's short.
Do you have a
Short
problem with short people?
little man. Looks like little man, big hair. He's not fooling anyone with that hair. He's trying to add inches to his height.
Well, he's
Guys,
probably
his hair is exquisite. I mean,
yeah.
I got
It
to be
is.
honest with you. I don't have any hair. And the G-Man, the dude has got some like grade A
curl.
masterclass whoop ass hair. And
Yeah.
I'm comfortable enough to say that there are times when, by God, I'm a little jealous of his hair.
Can you imagine how much time he's got to spend on that? Like Hulk, if you had to get ready to go to work, how much more time would you need to prepare?
Well, couple hours.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
great
know,
hair.
As it stands right now, I just roll out of bed and
Probably
crawl
my
to the
favorite
closet.
curly fragrance in all of this fragrance universe.
Yeah.
What you guys been wearing today?
What am I? Well, I woke up. I had to go. I had to take one of the kids in to a little doctor's appointment. And what did I wear? I don't think I wore a goddamn thing because I went to the doctor's office.
I
Plus,
get
it's
it.
good, to give your nose a break, which
Mm.
actually is true.
So you
And
have
then
manners. You have perfume manners then.
well, people right now, I don't know in your part of the world, but in my part of the world, people are touchy as hell. I mean, you say one wrong thing, I'm, that old expression, keep your circle tight. Well, I'm keeping my circle tight. So I just figured a doctor's office, a bunch of people, probably in weird states of emotional distress. I'm just going to keep it lowbrow. I'm wearing a shitload, but after that, I got home and over applied. Santos concentrate.
Lovely.
I had to abscond someone's bottle of that, and oh man, it's memory lane. I haven't worn this in years. In fact, I don't know if I wore the concentrate or the original Santos. I think I wore the original. I don't know if there are any old sales associates left at Nordstrom's in downtown Portland. They might remember, but they're probably all dead and gone now. But that stuff's amazing.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Santos as well. I don't know the
Santos.
concentrate, but I love the original.
I mean, it's just, yeah, it's
It's
glorious.
brilliant.
Green and leathery and just full of vim and vigor.
What about you, Rich?
Today it was quite warm here. One of the first days of actual summer weather we've had here. So I wore Original Vetiver by Creed. It is essentially a niche version of Mugler cologne.
Do you think so?
It feels like it. I would not be surprised if Alberto Marias was in fact the nose behind it. I was talking to Jura Rose today, and he came up with a theory which I think's actually got a bit of credence to it. If you forgive the play on words.
I don't see the similarity.
Really?
Other than they're both green.
Oh, I think that.
But it's been a while since I tried Original Vetiver.
The Jura Rose sort of said to me today that he'd seen a picture of Alberto Marias' office. He's standing talking to somebody. And in the office, there were all these different bottles of perfume that he'd made. And in the office was a bottle of Viking cologne.
Ooh.
Right. And he was like, I wouldn't be surprised if he'd made that Aventus cologne, sorry, not Viking cologne, Aventus cologne. And he was like, do you think that he might be the person who has made these cologne fragrances for Creed? And I thought, that wouldn't surprise me in the slightest because Creed's gone a bit down the pan recently. And they're producing stuff like what everybody else is producing. And who's the perfect person for that? It'd be Alberto Marias.
Alberto is competent enough to make something original.
He's made original stuff before, but that's not what brands want. It would fit with the theme of Creed wanting to make stuff that sells now more than wanting to make groundbreaking and original stuff. It was just a theory. I don't necessarily. Well, there's no evidence for it other than what me and Jura Rose speculated. And I thought it wasn't a bad theory. It's more chance of Alberto Marias making it than Oliver Creed.
Yeah, you're probably spot on.
Or it could be someone else. Who knows?
Creed Vetiver's fantastic.
Grey Vetiver.
Did you say Grey Vetiver or Original Vetiver? Rich, are you wearing?
Oh, I said Original Vetiver.
Okay. Thomas, do you have many creeds in your collection?
I only have two. What do I have? Royal Mayfair and Royal Water, and that's it.
Okay.
I'll tell you, I don't know. Here I go again saying stuff that
Now tell us, man. Tell us.
probably
Open up.
isn't popular. I really so Creed, you can buy Creed here in town, and I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, I would I'd go in and sample Creeds, and because I don't know, I just work, a 5-day week. I'd like go in and sample. I'm going to pick on Royal Oud. Royal Oud was fantastic, and I'd go back and resample it, and it smelled totally different. And then I'd have some incredibly, self-important young Creed sales associate tell me that my nose was broken, and and I, being polite, thought to myself, well, I'm sorry, but you're like 2 years old, and I'm like 3 times your age, and you don't even like. Anyway, I'm not going to be snarky. Their inconsistency in their product just always irritates the shit out of me, and so conversely, I just don't give them any money. And I refuse to. I have no interest in getting into this ridiculous, what I think is ridiculous. Now, other guys get off on it, and it's usually always guys. And if any are listening, more power to you. Collect those batch variations. Do what you got to do to feel one with the universe. But I'd rather put my money into, I don't know, retiring early and not have to, it just, for me, it's just, to me, it's just ridiculous. I mean, get your shit straight. Like, Aventus, original Aventus. Like, dude, when original Aventus came out, holy shit stick, that rocked the world. There was nothing like it. It whooped ass. That, whether you liked it or not, didn't matter, because it was something different, a statement maker, and it was worth the money you paid for it.
Yeah, which was a lot less back then than it is today.
I was going to say, yeah, that was before the price increases, wasn't it?
It was probably half. That came out in around the 2010 area.
Yeah, I remember smelling that at Nordstrom's in, I think it was 2010, 2011. And dude, I was like, holy shit, this is like exciting, new, interesting perfume. And yeah, I mean, what was it? I want to say it was like 165, whatever. I mean, to me, there was value in it. And then, you drain. See, this is what's funny is do these people not think we actually wear this shit, or do they think we just collect it at home and stare at it? I don't sit here at night in my underwear and like massage my perfume bottles. I got better shit to do. Like, well, I don't know. Like, well, some of us do, but I mean, anyway, so whatever, the quality, just the inconsistency of it bugged the shit out of me. And now, honestly, I can find better smelling Creed Aventus. Well, I just got this Rasasi, whose name I can't pronounce, that is a utterly shameless dupe clone of Aventus that smells like an old batch of Aventus. And I paid like $45 for it, and it's fine, and I move on with my life.
Yeah.
I mean, if Creed can't like get it together, I mean, they've created that market and that problem for themselves. It's like, get your shit together.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. There's the thing about clones is I don't necessarily like clones or enjoy them or anything like that, but I totally understand why they exist. 100%. Creed created the clone market for Aventus by bastardizing their own product.
Exactly.
It's simple as that,
I mean, like, I'd be willing to pay $300 a bottle of Aventus if it lasted longer than 2 hours and could consistently smell the same from bottle to bottle.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Like, hello?
And
You know,
you
I mean, Chanel doesn't have that problem. Yeah, Platinum Ego East over the years has changed, but it doesn't have the same kind of material quality shifts that Creed does, not by a long shot.
yeah. Well, you got to expect a little bit of change in perfumes from time to time, but not at the level that Creed is facing. And you've been quite vocal in your enjoyment of Mont Blanc Explorer, which is also taken after Creed Aventus.
Yeah, so the wonderful thing about today is all of these perfumes, there's so many of them that all you do is wait 6 months and buy this stuff at outrageous discounts. So I don't pay a lot of attention to you know, Fragcom this and that and hype machines and all this other shit. But I guess Explorer was like this cool thing, panty drop, you know, all that bullshit. And I don't know, I picked up a bottle for like $40 and I sprayed it on. And I mean, I don't like it that much, but everyone else does.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? Like, it's like, okay, I throw it in my man pack for work, you know, and
Yeah.
people don't give a shit what I know about perfume. They simply like how it smells. And, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I know that's kind of sacrilege for the hardcore perfumista crowd, but I think there's a time and a place for everything.
Do you get different reactions when you wear something, let's say, more challenging or even perhaps vintage fragrance than Mont Blanc Explorer or something more modern?
Oh yeah.
People
Oh
look at you funny. Like there's that guy again. There's the
yeah.
Kuros guy.
I mean, now that people are losing the masks, I'm a notorious oversprayer.
How
Oh
many
yeah.
sprays?
Oh fuck. Uh, I mean, for me, it's not how many sprays; it's how many sprays over the course of a day. Because
So you're a resprayer
oh hell yeah,
of the
oh
same
god,
perfume.
oh yeah, like oh shit, on Mount Blanc Explorer, I don't know, I'll start off with 8 sprays, and then at around, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours later, I'll do another 8. I mean, why the hell not? I mean, yeah, I don't see any sense in saving this stuff. I mean, what are we saving it for? You know, yeah, if you wear, yeah, man, people, yeah, especially when I start layering, you know, oud-based scents, man, people just, oof, yeah.
Do you ever wear more than one fragrance a day? Because I can't like, I mean, loads of people do it, so I mean, it's not like the most outlandish thing in the world, but I can't wear more than one fragrance a day. You know, I do what Thomas does. I'll reapply after a certain amount of hours. You know, I've got enough perfume to do it, so why not? But like, I can't imagine wearing like, I don't know, fucking Aventus in the morning and Shergé in the evening. Just couldn't. I couldn't imagine. Excuse me, sorry. I
I'll
just
do
couldn't
it if
imagine
it's
doing it.
in the same, like, fragrance family. So,
Got you.
you know, like this evening, I'll probably bust out some ancient green oak moss infused, you know, whatever, because it is in the same family as Santos. But yeah, I'm not going to mix and match. Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know, a fruity oud cologne with yeah, some sort of, you know, I don't know, Sauvage, for example.
I wear 2 fragrances every single day. I wear one thing to work all day and I never reapply. And it's, I think, mostly because I really enjoy the dry down. I enjoy the dry down more than I do the tops. So it's very, very rarely that I will reapply. But I mean, for whoever does, I mean, that's your thing. That's what you enjoy. So that is your truth. And when I get home from work, I'll have a shower and I'll reapply something more cozy, more softer, not as aggressive or loud, but just something to calm me down and prepare me for the evening. Something light. That's usually my routine. It's very simple, and it's something that I stick to.
Yeah.
It's what works for me. Some people only wear. I know. I think Rich only wears one fragrance, right, throughout the whole day.
That's right. Yeah. I just like to have. I don't know whether it's like an organizational thing, or whether I'm just like, whether that's just like the way I am. Um, but yeah, I just like to wear one fragrance, and that's it. You know.
Yeah, that's your thing. That's what works for you.
Yeah.
And
What did you want? What did you want to do?
sometimes on the weekends when I'm testing things, I'll get into a hodgepodge, but I really dislike those days. When I got 5 or 6 different things on, and it's more not really wearing perfume, it's more like testing perfumes or just being a goof. I don't
Yeah.
enjoy wearing more than one perfume at a time. But there are times where that actually happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's overstimulated is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the market right now is dependent upon us perfume addicts being overstimulated, and
Mm.
so it's sort of interesting if you take a step back and you think to yourself, what's your actual sort of um, water level for what you actually want to wear, as opposed to what you consciously or unconsciously feel you ought to be sampling and attempting to enjoy. Um, so yeah, it's been interesting. Uh, yeah, this no buy's been. I've learned a lot from it. So,
What
How
made
long
you
you been
start?
on it?
What made you start one? What made you start a no buy?
there's this guy that I work with, and it's in where I'm at in the world. It's pretty rare to meet men who consistently wear perfume. It just, for whatever reason, where I'm at, it's just not a normative thing. And he's a perfume lover, but he only loves, maybe 10 fragrances. And that's all he ever wears, period. And he has absolutely no interest in sampling anything new. In fact, he doesn't even know. You could name 5 niche brands that you and I would know off the top of our heads, and he has never heard of them. And I thought, there is the mark of a really successful perfume is all, these perfumers, these noses, they create these, I like to call perfumes events. So they create these events and they let them out into the world. And this little thing that they've created, I mean, little in the scheme of sort of human made creations, it's not like they've made some sort of vast improvement to the automobile or some sort of new, hydrogen powered lawnmower, blah, 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 blah. And these people, they latch on to this one event and it's theirs, like forever. They have this ownership of this creation. And I think that's really where the kind of where the real sort of magic and mystery of perfume reside. Because if you think about it, I mean, imagine going through life with all of life, and you just sort of oscillate between these fragrances and feel no need to find something new. That's a very old world perspective, but I think there's a lot there. So it's been interesting to learn from that.
Hang on, Thomas. Are you saying that these events are created in order to sell more perfume?
Yeah, I mean, now they are. Like, for instance, let's take a fragrance here that Rich, Mitch, and I both think is absolutely is just Balenciaga Pour Homme.
Yes.
So Balenciaga Pour Homme, regardless of whether you or I or anyone else doesn't like it, it is an extremely well-made example of perfume. So, in other words, if we were to be in the presence of, say, a master perfumer, and we were to say, here is Balenciaga Pour Homme, I'm not concerned about whether you like it or not. I just want to know how you approach this as a constructed piece of perfumery. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that most, if not all, would say, yeah, this really represents a certain period of time and a certain period of fashion and a certain place where the market was, but this is really well-made stuff. I mean, how often are people talking about perfume like that these days? They're not.
Well, yeah, it's a very select few of aficionados of perfume lovers, and that's kind of what this space is. But in order for brands to remain in the public eye and considered, up to date and to be seen, they constantly need to be putting things out. Every brand is when you go to the Chanel counter, you'll see the newest release. Usually, it's independent of all the other perfumes. It's put on a spotlight, kind of a pedestal. It's got this sign above it saying "new," right?
Yeah.
To bring attention. And there's an interview. If you go on to Persilase's channel, the creative director there, I can't remember, Renaud Salmon talks about, his first, as he was hired, his first project was Amouage wanted him to release something right away, like within moments of being hired. And the reason was they had to remain in the spotlight. They had to stay present, and they wanted people aware of the brand. So that's one of the reasons why companies are constantly releasing stuff. Not only that, but department stores demand it as well. They need products on the shelf. That's why we see as many flankers as we're getting today. It's not that brands necessarily want to create them. The department stores demand them in order to keep carrying the product.
Well, department stores are dinosaurs, I would argue. And I think department stores over the next 10 years are going to continue to just vaporize in thin air. I'm an old school sales guy, and I think what is missing is real, honest testimony of love. So let's take Bleu de Chanel. All of us perfumistas roll our eyes. Bleu de Chanel, the shower gel scent, boring, blah, blah, blah. Chanel keeps riding that horse. They keep riding that horse because it keeps making a ton of money. yes, it keeps making a ton of money, but within it making a ton of money are countless tens of thousands of personal narratives as to why an individual loves that fragrance. There, I think, is where a lot of companies ought return to, as it's so much more genuine than, oh, you know, we've released another flanker, we've released another this and that, and then 9 months later, all of a sudden that flanker is available at fragrancebuy.ca at 40% off. You wait another 6 months, it's available for another 70% off. And 2 years from now, no one remembers it. To me, that's just not how I grew up loving perfume. You would you would just never forget about that love.
You've got a very different perspective, and you're one of the very few. I mean, most of the population don't care about perfume as much as, you know, this space here does. We're the hardcore extremists. We're the unknown. This is the underground. This is a very strange area. You know, not how many people, random people on the street, do you think would know what Balenciaga Pour Homme is?
Oh,
not very. Not very many.
Yeah, I mean, well, I can't think of anyone where I'm at.
Right. So it's a very select few. And people, you know, they don't go into discount shops searching out Balenciaga Pour Homme or great vintages. They just want what's easy and accessible and modern and smells good.
Yeah.
Opposed to why I'm not sure why people wore perfume in the 70s and 80s if it was for the same reason, because they didn't smell clean and fresh and soapy. You know, they did smell very different back then. So I imagine the reason people wore perfume back then was more of a statement maker, almost like a part of somebody's character.
Yeah, it would be. You know, I would, then this will never happen, but I would absolutely love to be able to ask some of the old guard noses, just how different those fashion houses were back in the day. Because really designer fashion houses, you know, that's who was coming out with perfume. There just must have been much more of a wild sort of, you know, let's just throw money at this fragrance and see what happens attitude, which, yeah, you know, I guess guilty as charged. You know, I guess I miss that and really like that sort of, oh, I don't know. I guess it's kind of rebellious.
People in the 70s and 80s wore signature fragrances. Yeah, there was much less selection as well. I think people like having selection and being able to pick out instead of, you know, it's almost like forced. These are your options, and they're very select and very few options back then. Now you got variety. It's like the spice of life. Wear what you like.
Yeah.
But the standards aren't the same though. It's like anything. It's like it's inflation basically. The more of something you have, the less its worth is. So we've got more perfumes now, and yet the standard of perfume in general has gone down, in my opinion.
What do you mean the standard?
Like you don't get it's like Thomas says, like perfumes used to be signature perfumes, you know. Perfumes used to get released and they would become signature perfumes. You don't get that. You don't get like those kind of releases anymore. You know, there's so much choice out there. People can just flit between different perfumes if they want. And they end up finding that they're doing that because with the democratization, like everybody getting richer over the last 30 to 40 years, everybody's got more money to experiment, and people don't want to smell like other people. You know, if you are the type of person committed enough to wearing a perfume, it's going to cross your mind at some point that you are going to smell like someone else, and that you want to smell like you. You know, you want to smell, you want a perfume that is going to become synonymous with you. I'm thinking of the thing that reviewers used to say about 3 or 4 years ago, that you don't want to smell like her ex. You know, and it's like a lot of like young men, when they're buying their perfumes and stuff now, they're not going to buy something like
Acqua di
they're not,
Gio.
yeah, you know, or like even Bleu de Chanel. Bleu de Chanel and Sauvage will hit this wall where it's like, oh, like they're going to be out on a date with like the type of person who buys Bleu de Chanel and Sauvage is going to be out on a date, and they're going to be like, the girl's going to look across at them and say, without even thinking about it, oh, you smell like me, like this lad I was dating 4 years ago, you know, and he's just going to die inside. It's just going to be absolutely devastated,
Thinking he
you
smells
know,
great.
thinking he smells absolutely great. And it'll the thing is the time will move on, you know. And there'll be something. I was talking to, who was I talking to? It might have been Peter or Jura Rose today, and I was saying, like, Bleu de Chanel and Sauvage, they've been out for a long time now. You know, these brands, Chanel and Dior, need to be releasing like a centerpiece, you know, like they need to be adding a new fragrance to that. I mean, Chanel especially, it's been like 12 years nearly.
You think that's a long time to go in between releases?
I think it used to be average.
Right. Why
It
do you
used
think
to
it's
be, yeah,
taking them so long?
because they're making such a shit ton of money off it. And it's obviously, the longer that it's in production, the cheaper it's going to be to produce, because they'll have those materials backed up in bulk, and the bottles and everything like that. You know, like you'll know yourself, trying to get a bottle made, you know, trying to get a flacon made, you know, trying to get get the mold. The mold's the most expensive part of a perfume.
Once all the tooling is paid for, yeah, it becomes cheaper with every.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I imagine they're just trying to get as much mileage out of that as humanly possible. But they'll come up with something, you know. They've released some flankers for it, but they'll need to release. I mean, it was 13 years between Allurom, and Bleu de Chanel, you know.
I have a
Well,
feeling we'll probably see one more Blue flanker before a new release, and that'll buy them maybe 3 or 4 more years before
I
they
agree.
can roll something new out. I don't think Blue is done quite yet. We've got the 3. Is there a spray too, a body spray? We got the EDT, the P, and the parfum. We might see one more, and then maybe a new release. But Blue is still rolling, man. It's still a
Yeah,
steamroller.
it
It's
is.
not done
Yeah.
yet.
And
No, I totally agree.
yeah, I mean, Chanel's also putting anything adventuresome into either their exclusive line, um, which is smart because only the hardened perfumistas are going to spend that kind of money. And Chanel, I think, is playing it smart. Right now, we've got very, very unsettled times market-wise. I mean, we've got, again, us here in this bubble of, perfume world don't like to talk about the real world, but the real world, it definitely, the marketing guys at Chanel know what they're up to, and ladies, excuse me, because we're in very odd times right now. We've got war on the continent. We've got this pandemic that comes and goes and comes, and who the hell knows what. We've got, I mean, today Interest rates just got jacked up in the States by 0.75%. I mean, there's a lot going on. What's that old trite expression? Sometimes the grass isn't greener. And sometimes it's better to just pee in the toilet you have than a new toilet. So, I mean, hey.
Thomas, is there anything that you do enjoy that's modern? I know you're a big vintage head and you love your old school. Is there anything that you do enjoy that is found on the shelves today?
Yeah, I ran into an Ulta and finally sniffed the new Aqua di Gio Eau de Parfum, which I thought was fantastic for what it is. I really like the new Dior Elixir. I think that's fantastic.
Really? Do you?
Yeah, I think it was sort of Dimashi's sort of final swan song to Dior, saying, "This shit's gonna whoop people's ass. Have a nice day." And I think it's fantastic.
I said that several months ago, and I got laughed at in the chat. They laughed me off the stream.
I mean, that Sauvage Elixir. I wish it wasn't in a 60 ml bottle. That's the only thing that sort of teases me off about it. I wish it was 100 ml, but no, I think that's a great, fantastic new release. What else? I really like. I think I'm the only person who actually publicly admits they like this. I've drained half a bottle.
Right.
I love the new H24 by Hermes. I think that's brilliant. It seemingly gets no play in this world.
Why do you think that is, Thomas? Is it egos that keep us from admitting something? Or is it genuine?
Well, this is such a peculiar, the perfume world is such a peculiar space because you have this binary that's always in tension, and that is the binary of selling yourself and then your opinion. And you have to walk this very sort of fine line, and it's not a line that makes anybody any money, so it's sort of a lonely line to hold. In specifically H24 is just way too Hermes. It is refined, it is subtle, and it is not interested in overt statement making, which, as an old luxury house, that's where you want to be, in my opinion, especially in a world right now that is completely in turmoil. The other interesting aspect of H24, in my opinion, is that it has initially such a character that it's easy to expand or reduce that character. So H24 could easily be turned into an eau de parfum and have much greater sort of performativity to it. Likewise, you could sort of turn it into a body spray, a body wash. There's a lot of places to go with it, which is why Terre Hermes has done and consistently does so well, I think.
Rich, thoughts?
Thoughts on H24?
H24 Elixir.
Oh, an H24 Elixir. I can see them going that route with that line. I think it is definitely their version, their take on the Sauvage, Bleu de Chanel, without being Sauvage or Bleu de Chanel. You know, it's their take on the modern masculine. I think it's got a lot more in common with Ganymede, actually.
Mm.
I think it's got that sort of metallicity, that metallic vibe that goes through it. But I don't like metallic notes, so it's the same reason I don't if I had to choose any blue metallic sort of fragrance, I would go with Bleu de Chanel, because Sauvage has that metallic sort of vibe for me as well. H24, I know that's a green metallic sort of fragrance, but there's just I can see H24 being Hermes's version of the blue trend, except they've twisted it and put like a green one out there, you know.
It's definitely what it feels like. Is their green version of a shower gel or something clean or something blue? It's their
Yeah,
green blue version, and there's parts of it that I don't mind, but there's also parts of it that push me away. And I think there is something mass appealing in there that I can't get on with. But there are some. I guess I do like the mintiness. There's a little bit of mint. There's a little bit of balsams in there that I like. There's a little bit of rubberiness, but there is some kind of, I don't know. It's like cleaning products in there, and it's just like, I'm not sure how I feel about this. But I keep going back. I keep going back. I don't mind trying things and trying to figure out what it is I don't like, or can I change my mind about this? But I don't want it to be like I want to like it. I never want it to be I'm going to try it so much that once I'm going to get comfortable in it, and that's why I'm going to like it. Because that's a possibility too. It's one of those getting comfortable in your uncomforts.
it's difficult. It's difficult to get used to that feeling, though, of being comfortable, being uncomfortable. You know, it's a difficult place to try and get yourself into.
Well, it can. It doesn't have to be, though. It doesn't have to be. It's just a matter for me is it's a spot where I could use to wear something that I'm more attached to and more comfortable in. And do I want to give that spot away? Because spots are very limited. It for me, it's an 8 to 10 or 12-hour space where I dedicate to wearing a fragrance. Now, do I want to give it to a perfume like H24, where it's not bad, but it's not my favorite thing either. And I'd rather award that to something that I do enjoy wearing, right? I don't like to give my spots away.
Yeah.
Because those spots are precious, right? You can spend them with it's the same as people spending it with somebody you don't enjoy compared to going out with a friend that you have a great time with all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm scared that something new will infringe upon your guaranteed happiness.
Yeah, for the non-perfumista though, I think good enough is good enough.
Yeah, I think it's great for the non-perfumista. If I were to smell it on my kids, I'd be like, oh wow, that's great. Better that than nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to ask you if you wanted to talk about that email I sent you today. That
Email
seems to be
to who?
Andy Tower.
You can, if you guys want to discuss that.
It's a little bit worrying. It's
all right. Why don't you read it to us?
Oh, I don't know. I can't read it there because I'm using the phone.
Let me find it.
Okay.
All right, you fill us in, and I'll look for it.
The cost of raw materials?
Yeah. Apparently, Andy Tower is going to have to put some of his fragrances prices up by up to 40%. He sent an email out to some distributors and vendors today or yesterday or recently, and someone I know who works in retail sent me the message, the email, and it's specifically for, not all of them are going to go up by that much, but the prices are going to go up at least 10 to 15%, it looks like. And it's the first, to be fair to them, it's the first price increase I've known at Tower. And I've been aware of the brand for like 5-6 years. I can't remember the last time there was a price increase. But it's coming, and apparently it's going to be industry standard, industry wide soon. The smaller niche houses are going to start putting their prices up considerably because they haven't got the buying power of the bigger ones. So just by sheer economy of scale, prices are about to start going up.
It seems like they've never stopped.
Well, at designer level, yes. Stuff like Dior and Chanel, they've been putting their prices up 10% a year for a while now. Chanel certainly, Dior less so, and for a lot of other perfumes, the older stuff seems to stay at a decent price. Other stuff that seems popular, Creed's been putting their prices up and above the price of inflation for years. But if you have perfumes that you genuinely love, they are going like, from like these small niche houses, they are genuinely going to be going up in price over the next year, 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
Like everything else in the market. When would you say, Rich, that vintage prices have gone up? I know you and Ramsey were both saying that you guys got extremely lucky in getting the vintages when you did at great prices. At what point did you notice that they started going up?
It was earlier this year. It was about 3 to 6 months. It was between Christmas and March. I personally started noticing when I was going on eBay, when I was like shopping at like other places and stuff like that. And I was like, fuck. And they weren't just going up a little bit either. They were going up a lot. Like, I'm talking like between 25 and 50%. And then if you move that on now, I would say they're anywhere between 50 and 75% more than what they were a year, 2 years ago. You know, shit's just gone mental, absolutely sideways.
Yes.
Upwards. As
Completely
far as
agree.
like, it's insane. It's insane. Ramsey said, because me and him were talking about this earlier today, because I sent him the message about Tower, and he was like, Rich, we are so lucky we have got in when we have managed to get in and got these prices at the prices we've got. And I was like, you're right. People who collected vintage fragrances before now, we'll just draw a line in the sand and say now, have got the best prices that they'll ever be. Like, these prices will go up and they will not go back down.
Yep.
And it's just insane. Themist, somebody is saying in the comments, Themist, no, 40% is not a joke. It's Fion Rose de Kandahar. It's the first one, La Maroc Porel, Incense Rose, Incense Extreme. They're all Galen's got them listed there. Yeah, yeah, it's true.
Le Maroc, Incense Rose, Incense Extreme, and Fion Rose de Kandahar. Oud will be in stock again in 3 months plus.
Yeah. So what he's saying is basically the next time your store has to restock, the prices will be up that time. So say your store's got 3 bottles of Ledger Desert American. When they've sold those 3 bottles at their current price, they will have to buy more. And when they buy more, that price will have gone up at least 10%. Stuff like Lone Star Memories, or Côte de Desert, the Sundowner, stuff like that is going to go up at least 10 to 15%. And then stuff like the ones we're mentioning before, they have got more naturals in, and apparently it's the natural stuff that's becoming extremely expensive, because a lot of I think a lot of sorry, let's get this right. I think a lot of the price increase is now coming because of, one, the war in Ukraine, and two, the virus that we had over the past couple of years. Those stocks have been depleted. Now, you've got to remember, people weren't working in the fields. People weren't working, and the back stock that the companies had that they could keep the price down is now gone. Chanel, I happen to know Chanel in the UK, right? They've incurred a massive cost because they've had to rebrand all of their perfumes. Have now got to have a British address written on them because of Brexit. So they've had to take a lot of bottles off the stores, and then reprint either stickers or rebottle them to make sure that it's got all the paperwork legal and compliant, because they've got, in Britain specifically, they've got to have a British address. So that's an extra cost. Plus, Chanel is having real trouble sourcing materials to make their perfumes in the first place. You can't get a hold of the do you know the pure perfumes, the little 15 ml ones? They're a nightmare to get a hold of. I was in Harrods beauty store. Harrods have opened a new beauty store not 10 minutes from where I live. That's another discussion we're going to have. That's going to be a nightmare for us. But Harrods have opened, and I went in, and you would expect them to be brimming with stock. They didn't have Cristal, and they didn't have any of the pure perfumes. And I said to them, I was like, where's the pure perfumes? And they were like, we just can't get them. It's like supply issues. And I was like, bloody hell. And I knew the kid, like I've talked to him loads of times before. And I was like, fucking hell. I was like, that's like, because Chanel's not a small company. Chanel's like, you know, like a multi-billion-dollar company. And he was just like, yeah. He was like, at the end of the day, if you can't get the materials to make the perfume, you can't make the perfume, you can't sell it. Mm. It's as simple as that. It's 1 + 1 = 2. You know?
And they're usually at the top of the list of manufacturers when they're printing stuff.
Well, Chanel's vertically integrated. Chanel makes all their own. Chanel's got all their own stuff. Chanel make, like, but they do buy from outside as well. But there's like stuff that they can't. There's stuff that they can't get.
Right.
You know?
They get their bottles made outside, and other brands need to wait while Chanel's are being printed.
Yeah.
And they like print millions of bottles at a time.
I got a jam, gents. I got kid duty.
Oh shit.
Thomas,
sorry to leave, but
thank you so much for joining us. It's been my pleasure.
Thanks, Troy. I got a bit, kid duty. Gotta go. Take care, Rich. Stay out of trouble.
Thank you. Nice to talk to you.
Talk to you soon.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
And then there were two.
It was you and me. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's not just perfume, but it's everything else. Like you look at everything that you're buying today, the prices have gone up, from food to gasoline to clothes to everything.
Yeah, like cooking oil.
I can't imagine those prices are going down, but it's got to be the result of governments just pumping out all kinds of money, like printing money out of thin air, devaluing currency.
Yeah, I mean, there's supply issues as well, but yeah, the inflationary things ever since the financial crisis in 2008, we've just been trying to wish it away. You know, closing our eyes, print more money, everything will be okay. But it's not going to be okay. You can't do that. It's as elemental as the law of gravity. If you've got more of something, it is worth less.
Mm, absolutely. Kid duty is code for gotta pinch a loaf. Well, we've all got to do that once in a while, so that's okay.
That's
It's
right.
always good to have Thomas on, and I don't, I'll take what I can from him. I know he's a busy guy and he leads a busy life, and he's got a family and a full time job, so that's good too. Rich, you had
Eugene.
some, you had some, you had some interesting questions for me this morning about specific perfumes. Do you want to talk about those?
Oh, okay. Right. So, for a while now, I have been debating whether I should buy the night. I found a couple of places, right, that I can buy the night from and get it at a decent discount. So I could buy it from this German store that I'm aware of. That since it's in Germany, I don't have to pay VAT, so that would make an automatic 20% off. Contacted them, spoke to them about it a few times. Excuse me, spoke to them about it a few times. The problem is they haven't got any in stock. And they're like, oh, we're waiting for some stock to come in. But when it does, we can talk about like a discount and stuff. So they would give us 20% off, and then they would probably give us a 10% discount over the top. So I'd be getting it 30% cheaper. Closer to £700 than £1,000. But here's like the little thing. They are currently waiting to restock, right? Which means that it's going to be new stock. And now, me and you, Eugene, have spoken before about how you've had people contact you and say, "I don't get the hemorrhaging ox arse from the night." And you're like, well, that's unfeasible because mine absolutely stinks of like blue cheese hemorrhaging out of an ox's arse. And that's strangely enough, that's one of the things that appeals to me about the night. And that's the one I want. I want the one that I've smelled, because you sent me very kindly a little decant. Must cost you at least 20 quid. You put 2 mils in there, it must have cost at least 20 quid, right? It's a hefty decant of the night. And your bottle is the one with the thin label, the original presentation. Now, to me, this caused panic, because I don't want to buy a brand new bottle, right, without smelling it first. And I don't want to buy a brand new bottle ever if I can help it. So I want the original presentation, like you, right? I want exactly the same one you've got, right? Oh, nobody wants to see that live stream. Surely. Poor
Including me.
Eugene. You're meant to like Eugene. You're not supposed to do things like that to him.
Okay,
so the idea.
Let me tell you what Rich is talking about. When the Desert Gems were first, I guess the night was the first Desert Gem to be released, and when they came out in the regular size label like all the other bottles. So you see the width of that label runs throughout the signature of the line, but I guess they wanted to increase the size of the Arabic writing, and maybe they thought the label was too small, so they've increased the width to be this big, almost 1.5 times thicker. That way they can get more information on there. And I'm imagining, because I've had so many people contact me saying, like, in your review you said this smells like shit, it smells like the countryside, it smells like manure, it smells like blue cheese. I don't get any of that. And I was like, damn, like, you can't miss it. You know, it's like sticking your head up Knox's ass. That's literally what it smells like to me. And I thought, and it's not always the case, but you know how us perfumistas like to, you know, every time we see a change in presentation or a box, we assume there's been a change in the perfume. And I don't know. I can't prove any of that, but it came to my mind thinking that's a possibility. It could have been reformulated. I don't know. Right. So all the new bottles of the night do have the label that are this thick. Actually, all the desert gems come in labels now. They're this thick, but you know, when they were originally launched, they look like this. So that's kind of the issue that Rich is facing now.
Yes, I want the old bottle. And lo and behold, what happened today? I got a message from someone who works in the local department store and saying that Frederick Mall is overstocked on the night, the moon, and various other fragrances, and they will be offering 20% off until they are sold. And I thought, ooh, that's nice. The moon and the night. And I did some sums and I worked out it would come to a certain amount. And I thought, if I can get them to knock it down to 30% off, should I buy both of them? So this is the conundrum I face. Also, the local department store has the old bottle with Eugene's skinny label on.
Of the night.
So this of the night, and that is what I'm trying to figure out. I want the one that smells like bad ox diarrhea. I want that one.
Those are getting harder to find.
The thin labels.
Yeah, I imagine as time goes on, they're going to be harder to find. Now, when the moon was released, I don't think it was ever available in the thinner labels. I think it was always in this thicker one. So you won't be able to find the moon in the thin label. My promise is in the thinner label, and that's also now in the thicker label. But my Dawn, I'm not sure. I don't know if this was ever released in the thin label, but my Dawn is with the thicker label. So there you go.
So I am intrigued. I am intrigued by getting both. If I can get it to knock it down to 30%, I will buy both of them.
And it's very rare you're going to find Frederick Malls discounted.
That's right.
Very rare.
Exactly. So I am in a bit of a tiz, you know, not the most important thing in the world. But I am. It's something I'm considering because I do like the moon. I do like the moon, but if I can get it fucking 20% cheaper, 30% cheaper, then that's what I'm gonna try and do. Obviously, as you would. As you would.
I would. You know what? I've got these. I don't know if they were discounted. I think a little bit. I bought a lot of mine from Premier, but even without the discount, I would have bought them here in Canada, like at full retail.
Yeah. No, I understand that. Like you've got all of the malls, haven't you?
Yeah. So Rudy's confirming the Moon and Dawn never had thin labels. So I guess Promise was the second one to be released. If it still has the thinner label. You have the Promise, don't you, Rich?
I've got Promise with the excuse me. I've got Promise with the thinner label, yes. That's
okay.
Right.
Good.
So I will have the night with the thinner label as well. And I think then I will be done buying Frederick Malls.
Oh, Galen. Do I like
Galen said,
carnal? Sorry,
Eugene,
go
do
on.
you like cauliflower?
I love carnal flower. Yes, I love carnal flower very much. I love it.
Why?
But to me, it's a very seasonal perfume. I don't want to wear carnal flower in the winter.
Why?
It's a
Why do you love it? Why do you love it? And why do you wear it when you wear it?
it's a fresh floral. It's mentholated. It's crisp. It is slightly refreshing, and I find it would be a bold contrast to the winter weather. I don't find warmth in it. I find it more refreshing. And come warmth, I want heavy ambers. I want warm vanillas. I want heavy leathers. I don't want to wear fresh floral, even though it's more than just a fresh floral. It's got coconut in it. Coconut's not for the winter.
No.
Coconut's a very summery it is kind of like it's a tropical vibe without smelling like suntan lotion.
Yeah.
It's got that massive white floral tuberose, gardenia, jasmine accord to it. It's gorgeous.
I'm not huge on carnal flower. It's got big white florals, hasn't it?
It does.
I'm not. That just white florals, honestly.
Yeah.
White florals just turn my stomach instantly. I don't know that I'll ever get over it, to be honest with you.
I love and that's kind of what I meant about getting comfortable in things that make you uncomfortable. And I'm sure that if you wore them over and over and over again, it would eventually come.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah.
food, eating food that you don't like. I mean, if you were to try it, and I didn't always like sushi, right? I thought it was disgusting, but then I tried it a few times and spaced them out, and now I love sushi.
It's like me. I'll tell you, it's not exactly the same, but blood tests with me. I couldn't have blood tests. Couldn't have it. Like many a time, I've like turned down like medications from the doctor where I've been like, look, I just can't have a blood test. It's not even a question of it's unfeasible. And then it got to the point where I was so bad. I was like, look, just do it. And I've had so many of them now that it just like I don't even think about it.
Yeah, right.
Don't even think about it.
Well, I'd rather have sushi than blood work, but
Yes.
here they're there. What's up, Smelly? Good to see you.
Hello. Do you want to talk about your brand? What's happening with that at the minute?
Well, there's no new information to tell you. I'm still trying to get those pallets to get picked up, but as we know, shipping and logistics around the world has become kind of nightmarish. But I've had somebody inside one of the shipping firms that I know personally is helping me. So they're going to try and speed up the process, which is nice. It's great having, perfume lovers in all aspects of almost everything you need, willing to help, it's great.
Right.
I just need right now. What I need is a web developer, somebody to help me with the website. That would be great. But other than that, everything is really it's going well. Everything is under control.
Nice. You been wearing your own fragrance this week, haven't you?
I wore the first one 2 days in a row now. I wore it today and I wore it yesterday.
Is it muscling out New York Intense?
Well, I mean, it's very different than New York Intense. Two very different perfumes. But I've been enjoying it very much. Actually,
Yeah.
I've been discovering it more. Like it's showing different facets. So,
Are you worried about that? Is that something that worries you? That like it might show you like some different facets, and you think, oh God, no, I wasn't expecting that. Where's that come from?
no, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I don't think it can change that much or go different. I was familiar with it before, but now I'm just becoming like, it's funny. We had Peter from Fragrance View here, and I had you at the same time, and you guys were asking, will you wear your own fragrance? And Peter said he creates this fragrance, and once he puts it out, he doesn't wear it anymore. And I thought, all right, that's probably the right thing to do. Just, I don't know why at that time I was like, yeah, okay, maybe I shouldn't wear mine either. But then I came to the realization that, like, well, no, I like this like, I like my fragrances, and I'm gonna wear them. I don't care, like, to follow any sort of rule or be part of the norm. I always kind of do whatever feels right for me. So I've just been wearing it, and no, I'm not really worried about it changing, but I do want to know it, like, properly.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
Would
mean?
you? Yeah, yeah. Would you like? Sorry, I forgot what I was going to say. I think it was. What was it? I was going to say. It was something about the next ones. It was like the next ones. How are you going to, like? Because you've got 3 made.
Mm.
So, like, are you like, how long are you going to spread them out over?
I'm not sure. I want to take my time. That's what I want to do. I don't want to rush anything. I just want to be really certain before I go
Yeah,
forward, like 100%, 150%. Everything needs to make sense for me, right? Just
yeah.
like the first 3 made, like, sense. I wouldn't change a single thing. Anything going forward needs to work for me.
Oh no, no. What I meant was like how like that with like since you're releasing one at a time. What's
Yeah.
the sort of time frame in between the two? Like the first one's being released
Oh,
soon, and
okay.
then the second one, and then the third one. That's what I meant.
I think it's just a matter of figuring out how everything works, like getting familiar with the procedure, with shipping, logistics, paperwork, without screwing up too much.
Yeah,
That way it keeps me safe, it keeps the buyers safe, and there's, I don't want anybody coming at me saying, you did this, or you fucked this, or this didn't work out, and it just saves headaches, I think. And also, it leaves a little bit more room for excitement going down.
yeah. Like people have got to wait and stuff like that. Bit
Yeah,
of
it's going to be well worth the wait. I assure you, it's going to be worth the wait.
yeah, like a bit of self denial because that's what I'm thinking of doing. You remember I did No by July last year.
I do very much. I can't
Yeah,
believe it's already been a year. I don't know where the time went.
I
Like,
and that's insane, isn't it?
it just feels like so recent. I was sitting in my apartment. I remember having this conversation.
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing it again.
Okay, why? What makes you want to try that again?
Well, I have been buying a lot, and I've bought
Have
a
you?
lot
I
this
haven't
year.
noticed.
I've,
It seems like you've been buying as much as usual.
that's right, and I did say I was going to try and slow down this year, and I have tried, but I also have failed. Um, so there's no point in denying it or like lying to myself and stuff, because that way ruin lies. So what I'm thinking is I might try and do, because Thomas was talking about this earlier as well, about a no buy. And I think it's possibly a good idea because once I got into it, I found it like not as difficult as you would think, you know? Like you go like a couple of weeks and you're like, oh fuck no, I wouldn't mind like getting a perfume, or like something catches your eye and you start thinking about it a lot. And you start like, you don't obsess over it, but you do kind of obsess over it. So I sorry, I've got my fan on because it's humid as fuck here tonight. Um, so I'm thinking that it might not be a bad idea to just have a little bit of self denial. And I did it last year, and it was no by July. Um, Loads of people thought that like it couldn't be done, and I did it. Even though I did front load, Galen made a good point. I did front load and then have an order ready.
And
Like,
backload and purchase candles in between. Don't worry, we noticed.
yeah, I got the candles. The candles weren't perfumes though. And actually, it's interesting. This leads me on to another point I'll come on to in a minute about what I did yesterday. But yes, I'm considering a no by July. I've got a couple of weeks to chew over it. I think it might be something worthwhile, you know?
Mm.
And what's Jura Rose talking about?
About that?
No.
Oh,
About the quadrophile.
he's saying to put, I guess, like microfiber cloths. Will
You
your
could do.
bottle
You
come
could
with
do.
level? Yeah, it's come up, and I've seen the comments, and I think it's a great idea.
You could do it once it's taken off.
Yeah,
You know.
it definitely won't be here for launch. You know, I've spent a lot of money putting into these perfumes, and it's not in the budget right now anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future. Maybe
Yeah.
in the future.
We need to start getting some money in, don't we?
Yeah.
I say we. You. Because I have pitched the square root of fuck all into the brand.
Hang on, that's not fair to say, because you have helped tremendously, even if it's just with your voice, right? Which
Yes.
I'll always
No,
appreciate. I'll always
yeah.
appreciate your help and your consideration, and just being there, listening and absorbing and playing that part for me. You know, it's important and it doesn't go unnoticed. So I do
No,
appreciate you.
I understand. Thank you very much. But you're what was I going to say before that?
We're talking.
Yes, no cloth. That's I think it is a good idea for the future. But what I was going to say was about what I got up to yesterday. And yesterday, not 10 minutes from where I live, a Harrods beauty department opened up. It's called H Beauty or H Beauty. And in said department store, it's not a department store. It's just a little, like, literally like a little beauty like store. And I went in yesterday and had a look around. And inside they have Le Labo, which I've never had like sustainable access to. And I'm not sure I'm looking forward to having sustainable access to. But I'll be able to rip them to bits if nothing else.
Oof.
They've got a new Chanel boutique. But I was telling you before about how they just don't have like loads of the stock. The Dior Privé, all the newer ones, like all the newer ones that like all the shitty ones. Because I texted you when I was there. I was like, they've got all the shitty ones that they released over the last 3 years. The woman was trying to sell us Eden Rock, and I was just like, no, no. So I was like, get back. I ended up getting an Amber and a Wee candle, of which I am delighted with, because Amber and a Wee is amazing, and I do not mind my house smelling of Amber and a Wee at all. But they were telling us the thing is that they are going next month. They are going to have the new Ballades, no, not Ballades Sauvage, Cologne Blanche, Eau Noir, and the new Bois d'Argent. And I am very much looking forward to those.
I'll probably end up picking up the Cologne Blanche.
Definitely. I've got half a litre of Eau Noir, so I'm not desperate for it, but it'll depend how it. I'll probably what I'll do is I'll take my bottle in, spray the bottle they've got, and then I'll see how they compare. See if it's worth buying an extra, because they're only releasing the 40 mils.
First,
they're only releasing the 40 mils in July, and then they're not releasing the big ones until September.
Yeah, I wonder if the Eau Noir is going to be the same as it is now, or the last batch, or if it's going to be Francis Courdian's version.
Apparently, that's what he's doing. He's taking Eau Noir back to scratch, because that was his.
Yeah.
So he's taken that back to the original Eau Noir. Apparently, he is just bringing back Cologne Blanche. And then he is making Bois d'Argent more modern. That's apparently what he's doing.
What do you mean making it more modern?
I don't know.
It's
I
not going to
don't
be
know.
the original.
I read this on a post somewhere. Somebody sent us a post from Kurdijan, which got deleted. And apparently was like, because that was it not the same post where he said he'd asked for the green dye to be taken out?
Who asked for the green dye to be taken out?
Kurdijan asked for them to get rid of the green dye.
Why?
The new Eau Noir will not have that color. Will not be that color.
Didn't the original Eau Noir that Kurjan is responsible for have the green dye in it?
Yes.
That's interesting.
But apparently he asked for them to get rid of it.
Did he give a reason why?
I think it's to do with like putting people off buying it because they don't like the color. They just see the color and they think, oh, algae water, like dirty pond water.
Right.
but
Looks like
you see
colored soup or something.
Yeah, it looks like nuclear reactor waste. You know what I mean? It looks like it doesn't look like appealing, but apparently that's what he said to the people. He was like, take the colorants out. So
I
knows?
don't imagine picking up the new Eau Noir unless it smells different than mine. But Cologne, and I'm happy with my Bois d'Argent, even though it is the more modern one. But I'll be picking up the Cologne Blanche.
Yeah, I'll definitely take the Cologne Blanche. Did you see the rotation I did the other day with my Cologne Royale?
Remind me.
I've nearly used like 150 mils of that stuff. Like I've had it for like 5 years, and I'm like, I've got a 250 ml bottle, and I've only got like 100 mils, maybe it's 110, maybe 90. It's like around that sort of mark.
Right.
So it's like I absolutely loved it. Like I've used it. Very easy to do what me and Thomas were talking about earlier. It's like I reapply it every 4 hours, and it's easy because it's got them big Dior bottles. You know them, like the ones you've got in your hand now. They're just so easy to just pick up, and you think, well, I've got loads of it, so fuck it, I'll put 8 to 10 sprays on. You know what I mean? And the sprays are amazing. They feel great to spray.
I gotta be honest, I really like the color of this.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it stands out a mile. When you've got it against all the other ones.
Right. It does. I don't know. I think it kind of matches not the colors I see when I wear Eau Noir, but it does it matches its personality, just the name and what the fragrance does.
Yeah, exactly. No, I would totally go with that. I think they nailed it. It used to be an even darker green. The original one in the Eau de Cologne version, with the really thin glass bottle. It used to be.
You couldn't see through it.
Yeah, exactly.
It was so dark and muddied.
Yeah, it was like dirty pond water.
I like the color. Yeah, I can see how it would turn off like a non-fragrance enthusiast, but as a perfume lover, I like it. I think it looks nice and it suits the fragrance because it is a big, bold, powerful thing. Zip it.
Well, you can't win that. I don't like the colour, to be honest. It looks so unnatural. I mean, it looks like dirty pond water, so.
There's the 250. That's a 250 ml.
So what size is your Eau Noir? A 125, really? Is that all?
That's all. Dude, I've had this for... Damn. I'm going to say probably 2015.
Look on the bottom of the bottle, and you'll find the batch code, and I will be able to tell you how old it is.
It says 1501.
So it's a 2011 bottle.
Really?
Has yours got the CD on the top?
It does.
Yeah, I think it's a 2011 bottle. If it says 1501, it's the first digit, right? It's the first digit that tells you what the year was. So if it's a 1, it's 2011.
Yeah, so it looks like it's either a 1.5 or a 1S. It's so small.
It doesn't matter. It's the first digit.
Yeah, it looks like 1501.
Nice. It's an 11-year-old bottle of Ona what? Pretty desirable.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it's we say it's desirable. It's desirable amongst us. You know, like the person I got my own noir from, like they bought like a few bottles from their boutique all at once, and those bottles are like 2000. And this was only like last year or the year before, and those bottles had been sat there for like 5, 6, 7 years. You know, like because the bottles I've got is like a 2014. You know,
Mm.
it's like people just mustn't want to buy it. They must smell it and think, "Oh God, that's so strange and weird. Why would I want to smell like that?" And then, like, if it's like me or you or someone in the chat, it's like, "Oh my God, that's so weird. Of course, I want to smell like that." Do you know what I mean? It's like, give us it.
Yeah,
It's
give us
such
the weird stuff.
exactly make it as weird as humanly possible. You know, it's it's just there's nothing.
That's the beauty of this. We don't want the generic things, the things
Yeah,
that smell simple. I mean, simple is nice sometimes. It's not horrible by any means, but we want things that will open their minds, I imagine.
yeah. I like the I like the
Yeah, Rudy, you got a point there.
oh, it's really saying, oh no, and Savage Parfum 2012 give me the same vibe. That's
Yeah,
interesting. What the
absolutely.
color? The color or the smell?
Yeah, look at the color here.
Yeah, the colors are similar. They're
Very,
almost the same.
very
Have you got the
similar.
box? Have you got the boxes?
Not here. They're in storage. I do have the boxes. I have the box for Au Noir. I don't think I have the box for this. But you know what? This is such a good perfume that this could have been part of the Privé collection.
Yes. Is that the
Easily.
2000 and?
Yeah, this was the original release. It could have easily been a Privé. I think they could still make it a Privé. Like
Let's think
discontinue.
about. I mean Fahrenheit. I mean, if you smell all the other shit they're putting out now, like fucking Sauvage and like all of those privés that were crap the last like 3, 4 years that Tamashi made. Um, Fahrenheit would slip straight into like a privé line, you know, considering
Right.
how different it is to all the other stuff that they've got. It's crackers.
Yeah, it's just so uninteresting. Dior's become just really uninteresting. And hopefully Francis can can mix that up. I mean, put something out worth smelling like. I'm hopeful, but I'm not sure if I'm like I'm hoping, but I'm doubting at the same time.
Yeah. Are you expecting the worst? No, prepared for the worst, hoping for the best.
Yeah, and I think it's just a matter of I'm not the biggest fan of his regular line, like his line.
Yeah. Actually, it's strange you say that. When I went to this Harrods beauty store in my local shopping mall, I actually bought a Coeur de Jean yesterday, but it was only an 11 mil. but I only paid 35 quid for it. And I was like, do you know, when you've got a big collection, an 11 ml little decant of an amber, I bought Grand Soir, £35, buzzing. I was like, yeah, I was buzzing. I thought, you know, 11 ml, but like great little perfume for 11 mils of it, and you just get to use it as and when you want, and there's no like long-term commitment, you know, and it's not a lot of money compared to like other stuff.
Yeah.
Haven't worn anything for a week. Vanilla Japula. Haven't worn anything for a week, mate. Why
Is there a
not?
reason for that? Is
I hope
everything
you're all
okay?
right.
Is Eau Noir really like Eau Sauvage? No, it doesn't smell like Eau Sauvage. We're just comparing the colors.
Yeah, the color is very,
No, they don't
very.
smell alike. But Eau Sauvage Parfum is complex and beautiful in its own way.
I actually prefer the newer version, but then I've got this theory about perfumes and stuff that whichever one you smell first will always be your favorite. Like if you get
Possibly, yeah.
two versions, yeah, well, yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah, like sometimes, yeah.
I know what you mean.
So yeah, exactly. It's like I smelled the 2017 version first.
Good
But
point.
it's widely accepted with a lot of people though that they prefer like the 2012, which I've also got a bottle of and I cherish it. I really like it. I just find that the 2017 to be I just prefer it, I think, because I smelled it
Yeah,
first.
once you get used to it, anything else is different. It's a change.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to, oh my god, I'm dicing to death. Hold on. I've got my cup hovering over the charger.
See, I've never smelt a 217.
You've never smelled the 2017 Eau Sauvage Parfum?
Mm-mm.
You what? It's the one that's in the shop. You just go to the shop and smell it.
We don't carry these here.
Really?
Not that I've never seen this anywhere.
Oh my god! I'll send you. Well, I would send you a sample if I could.
Locally, I can go into the Dior counter where they sell the Les exclusive, the Privé or Maison Christian Dior. They don't have these.
Okay.
They used to carry these at Sephora, and I don't see them at Sephora anymore either. So when they first came out, these were found in Sephora, but they don't have these in department stores or Dior counters.
I wonder why.
I love the bottle. I love the packaging. The ribs.
Yeah.
So classic.
Ribs for your pleasure.
Yeah, for your pleasure. Yeah, it's only available at discounters. Crazy, eh?
That's bananas.
Rudy says Grand Soir is the most boring amber on the market. I don't think it's that bad.
I was smelling it and I thought, there's not much going on. I get what he's saying. It's not like the most challenging perfume ever.
I think it's a nice amber. It's a nice spicy amber. Hey Eugene, do you think Ultra Malt is modern kinky corals for femboys that like wear skirts and paint nails? No, that has never come to my mind. I think anybody can wear Ultra Malt. Even a girl. I think it is quite feminine, to be honest. It's very sweet and fruity. But no, I don't think it is for. I don't even think it's a kinky Koros, a modern kinky Koros. Modern kinky Koros. Is this a troll or what? Is this is somebody trolling me? I feel like I'm being trolled.
It's a strange thing because I mean Koros is much more kinky than like Ultra Malt.
There's nothing kinky about Ultra Malt. It's just like a goofy, childish fragrance. It's so
massive.
And
Yeah, it's a
Paris.
massive Jean Paul Gaultier, isn't it? That's what it is. It's a huge Jean Paul Gaultier. That's
Mm.
just what JPG does. Hello, Lewis. Lewis is here. Lewis is my countryman. He lives down south. He's a good lad.
Yeah, we had him on here last week, Lewis. I
All right.
never would have guessed he's 24. He's wise beyond his years. It's good chatting to him. Good to have him on. We got to get him back sometime.
That's what happens when you live in England. That man puts years on you.
Yeah,
It
you
just
grew
puts
up
years.
here.
It
Fuck.
just it just puts years on you. I started going bald when I was 19, man.
Speed up the process, eh?
That's exactly right. That's it. I do. If you took my biological age now, right, adjusted for British inflation, I've probably got a biological age of about 60 or 70. Like,
I wonder
you
if it's all
know,
that acid rain that made you bald.
probably. It could be anything. It could just be other people. You know what I mean? It just could be just being surrounded by other English people. You know, just sucks the life out of you.
Mike V says England years are like dog years.
More donkey's years.
I don't know. Rich showed me his backyard today and the front of his house, and I thought, damn, it's really beautiful there. I could live there very easily. I saw lots of green space, lots of grass, lots of just a gorgeous sky. Even well past 9 o'clock, the sun was well above the horizon. And I thought, this it looks like a beautiful place. I don't know what it's like to live there, but
It is. The place is absolutely stunning. It's the people that are fucking. But that could just be me being a miserable old git. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure other people enjoy the other people. Um, it's just I prefer to just like sit and chill in the in the in the in the in the countryside. It's it's nice. I do. I like the place. I do like the place where I live. Um, England, England is nice except London.
I think I
Um,
remember you saying that recently. You called London
yeah,
a shithole.
yeah. Like London's like a really insane place now. Nobody from London lives in London anymore. You know, there's like no Londoners live in London because they can't afford it. It's the fucking
Yeah,
price of living in London's fucking insane.
dude.
Strange as well, you know, because you've got people who live there who are dirt poor, right? And then like you've got like it's like there's almost nobody in between. It's like you've got people who live there who are dirt poor, who live in like the high rises and like the really harsh council estates. And then you've got like the mega rich who live there for like a week every year. You know, you've got like the oil wealth and like some of the richest people in the world. What they'll do is they'll buy like houses up in London and then only visit them like once or twice a year. And it drives up the prices of like, so you've got loads of empty properties in London and people just own them as like, so they've got somewhere to stay in London. It's, it's, uh, it's not fair for people who were born and raised there, who literally can't afford to live in their own city.
Dude, cost of living is going up everywhere. Like it's astronomical.
Oh, it's chronic. It's
Man,
absolutely chronic. We've got this thing. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. We've got this thing called London waiting, which is everything in London is more expensive than it is everywhere else in the country, right?
it's
So
usually
it's
what
like,
it's like in the big cities.
yeah, exactly. And in this country, we call it London waiting, and it's like it's literally like there's a place in London. I swear to God, this is true. I don't know what this works out in gallons, but I'll try and work it out quickly. So there's 3.75 there's 3.75 liters to a gallon, and there's a place in London, right? The average price of diesel in this country is £1.90 a litre, right? There's a place in London trying to charge £2.50, right, for a litre. So three and a half, so three, so that's £7.50 for 3 litres, and then another half litre. So you're talking nearly £9 for a gallon of diesel in this country, right? So convert that to Canadian dollars. you're talking $16-17 a litre, $16-17 a gallon in this country for fuel. I see loads of people in America and Canada. Yeah, you're paying $5 a gallon. We're paying $16-17 a gallon.
We're at $2.10 a liter. I don't know what that. I think it's 3.6.
It's like yeah, it's like one. I think it's like 1 point. You're at like £1.26, £1.30 maybe a liter. So you're getting at like 50-60 pence. It's absolutely fucking bonkers. The price. It's really cheap. I see Americans complaining about the price of fuel, and it's like it's laughable because the prices we pay. It's
not going to last
crazy.
forever. Just the same way that prices crashed before the pandemic. We were down to like 80 cents a liter.
Yeah.
Right? That
Well,
didn't hold.
the thing is, there was a time, right? There was a time. What happened is there were these speculators who bought loads of petrol, who bought loads of oil because they thought the price was going to go up. But what happens is it collapsed, and then it didn't go up for ages. And what happens is when you buy petrol on the market, you get like a grace time of like 3 months, but then you've got to take receipt of it. And none of these speculators had any facility for being able to take receipt of this fuel, right? So they were selling it off, right, for nothing, literally nothing, right? And that's why the price of fuel went through the floor during the pandemic, because loads of people speculated on the price going up, right? But then the price went down and it stayed down. And it went down and stayed down, and all these speculators were like, well, we can't actually take receipt of this. We can't take receipt of this fuel, so like shit, sell it to somebody who can. And the people who actually could take receipt of it were like, well, no, we don't want it. You'll have to give us it for nothing. And that's what they ended up having to do. All these speculators lost a shitload of money because they literally had nowhere to store the fuel, and all these people who did have places to store the fuel got it for nothing. Insane.
I heard it was somebody was trying to flood the market to drive prices down because the Russians wanted to increase price. And as they lowered production, the Middle East they ramped up production on purpose. And it was to give them the middle finger, but
he deserves the middle finger, to be sure. He deserves more than the middle finger. He deserves the entire fist.
Anyways, it's. I mean, I don't look at it as bleak as everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to work out. We'll all be fine. We're all going to have food, and we'll all be alive. Nobody's going to die. Hopefully not, anyway. But
it's been a
little bit more for gas and things that we don't want to, but
it's been a funny world for the last like 7 years. It's going to be interesting. There's going to be books written about like what happened on this, like in society, Western society over the last 5-10 years. It's been crazy. It's been interesting.
Yeah,
and we've survived.
Very interesting. I try to play like an ostrich and keep my head in the sand because there's nothing I can do about it. Even if I know there's nothing I can do about it except for just to keep going, right? And there's no point in me worrying or stressing or even like sharing that anxiety and putting it out to the rest of the world. There's so many people, they just kind of watch the news and there's nothing they can do and they regurgitate it over and over and over, right? Well, what are you doing? How is this helping you? It's not. What are you going to do about it? Nothing except for bitch and complain and whine. It doesn't really help anybody, but that's really why I don't get involved. I don't watch the news. I don't really get into politics or there's nothing I can do.
It's best just to talk about perfume.
Yeah, and it's all a fucking sham, to be honest. It's all like what is the latest today, and what happens today won't matter 2 weeks from now because there's going to be this new crisis that we should all be worried about There'll be something else that they'll be throwing or flashing in our faces, something to separate us from, something to distract us with, and get us in a panic, to part us with our money and our time and attention.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Oh dear. What has happened since the last time I was on your stream? When was the last time I was on your stream?
Well, I was on stream with you and Galen, yes, 2 days ago.
All right, yes.
Which is great. It's good. I've noticed, I'm not sure if you have, but I've noticed there's been an influx in streamers lately, which is great. I've seen Bobby O put up a couple of streams, which I wasn't able to take part in because I was at work, but I wish I could have. I've seen Ramsey do his first stream.
Yes, yes, that was
Um,
good.
I don't know. Is there anybody else that was streaming that we're not used to? But it's good. It's good to see these streams, and it's almost like at any point of the day, I'm like, damn, I wish there was a stream up or something that I can partake in. You know?
Yeah,
It's
that's
almost
what
like,
go on.
yeah, it's almost like you expect them. You expect there to be a stream on just to have something to do. You know?
Yeah, there was an article I read the other day that the stream industry, so it's not just like YouTube, but like Twitch and all of that sort of thing. They reckon the stream industry is going to be worth $50 billion next year,
Hmm.
and that's just streams. And it's it's getting to the point where it's going to be like, should anybody make pre-recorded videos anymore? You know what I mean? And just instead just make just do streams. You know?
Yeah. Margie Louise, shout outs to you. Hope. Oh, she's fighting a cold. Yeah, I've seen Margie on stream. I'd love to see Margie throw up her own streams, right? Peter's here. Peter says that he used to do a lot of streams. Yeah, that's right. I miss seeing Peter's streams.
Yes, I do as well.
His streams used to come up like at the perfect time for me, and it'd be like right when I got home from work, and it'd be quite late where he was. But Peter had some great streams. Who else? I saw Rudy on stream recently. Stream of consciousness. Yeah, I like that. Stream of consciousness. The stream of flow. We need to see floral notes on the stream sometime soon. But yeah, that's it. I guess I felt kind of spoiled in all these streams. So now when I'm done work, I just, I open up YouTube hoping for there to be a stream. And if not, I feel like, oh, maybe it's just like my turn to fill in. Maybe I can do something, fill in, the gap, fill the gap. It's good to
Yeah.
fill the gap.
It's good for interaction. Streams are fucking there's the interaction makes streams different, the immediate sort of like the immediate ability to like talk to the person whose content you really enjoy. It's like the future of like TV,
Yeah.
televisual sort of thing, like being able to like interact, and then having shows like what Dan does on a Friday and a Saturday, where people know they can rely that at that time in that space there's going to be a stream. Like people like respond to that. Do you know what I mean? People like that sort of thing. So it's like ours is like at this like our streams are usually just like Christ on a bike, let's do a stream, and it's like yeah, all right then. And then a stream happens, whereas you'll get different people who will have like a set time every week, and they'll do streams on that time. Oh, very interesting how it's going to unfurl, how it's going to happen right in front of our
And then
eyes.
what happens with stream overlap? Do you have courtesy for streamers, or does it matter as long as
I don't think personally. I don't think I genuinely don't think that. I genuinely don't think that that's an issue. Two people can stream each other at the same time.
Right. What would happen? What would happen, right? Okay, it's interesting you say it. How would you feel? And this is just a hypothetical question. If you're streaming and all of a sudden I start streaming,
I don't know. I'd just be like, "Oh, Eugene's streaming."
would you say something to me afterwards?
I'd be like, "Why did you stream?" And then that would be it. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, "Oh, what were you streaming for?" I don't like. I can genuinely say like that. I don't necessarily think I would be bothered at all.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I'd be bothered at all.
Hmm. I mean, not that I would do it. I'd be very conscious if you were streaming. I would pay you that respect. I would almost certainly pay it to. I'd be conscious if anyone was streaming, but I don't think it's the end of the world if there's 2 or 3 streams going on at once.
Yeah, I don't think I would. I don't think would be. I'd be bothered if. I don't think I'd be bothered if you do that.
There should be a way to merge streams in real time. You mean 2 streams come together? That'd be interesting. Peter says, I've noticed before I've been streaming and someone else starts. Usually I just let people know the other person is streaming if they want to hop over. Sometimes I felt bad and ended mine. Why would you end yours if someone else starts in the middle of your stream?
That I've got to be honest, that sort of wouldn't bother me.
You mean there is no Fracom streaming sign up sheet? No, I mean I've never seen one. Vanilla Puglia? What is that? Vanilla Pula. I can smell you too from here. That's a compliment. Don't do it. I can't watch 2 at one time. You guys should start a Friday night stream. Well, there's already 2 heavy duty Friday night streams. I'm not sure how a third. I guess there would be room for a third or a fourth, I don't think anybody would really lose an audience, would they? What do you think, Rich?
What about?
If there would be a third Friday night stream, because there's already 2 big Friday night streams.
Who are the 2 big Friday night streams?
Well, there's Mr. Smelly and Joey Cannoli.
Okay.
But do you think, hypothetically, again, if you and I were to stream at the same time, it would affect their streams? Do you think there's enough room for all 3?
Yeah, I think there is actually. I think there's a massive difference in the people who watch the different streams. There is some overlap, but I don't think it's as. I don't think. I think that the people who would watch Joey's stream, the people who would watch Dan's stream, people who would watch your stream, 3 different audiences in the main. Say about 80% personally. I think the thing of trying to coordinate streams and offset them so that they could each benefit from it mutually. Nobody's going to watch me and you for 3 hours and then hop on to Mr. Smelly for 3 hours and then hop on to Joey Cannoli for another 3 to 4 hours. You
I
know,
wouldn't be
nobody's
surprised.
gonna watch gonna watch fucking 9-10 hours of fucking streaming all night.
I wouldn't be surprised. Dude, there's sometimes I'll start up a stream and it's very common to go for 3 hours, sometimes 4, and you'll have people that'll last throughout that have came from the very beginning and they're are there till the end. That's not abnormal at all.
No, I would agree with that. What I'm saying is that like I don't think there's any point in like trying to avoid overlap because I can't see somebody watching, like I say, if me and you start early and we go on for 3 hours, and then after 3 hours, Mr. Smelly starts his stream. That the audience isn't necessarily going to migrate to Dan. And then in the same way, even if say Mr. Smelly started before me and you, and then he was like, right, my stream's finished now after 3 hours. Go and watch Eugene and Rich. That audience isn't necessarily going to migrate. They might do for a while, but they're not going to watch 3 hours of another stream straight after they've watched 3 hours of like one stream. And then they're certainly not going to do that from the second stream to the third stream. You know, it'd be lovely if it worked like that, if we could just relay people, but I just don't think. I just think that the more the better, personally. And I think that the audiences for different channels are quite unique. That's why it's a good thing to have people who make different content. You know,
Yeah.
it's different content from person to person, and people will just filter through and find out who they want to watch. You know, it's interesting. It's the purpose of the stream as well. You know, like when I stream by myself, what I want to do is go to a place where like people I know and who I talk to quite a lot, like in the comments and on the streams themselves, where I can just go and talk to them, and they all know where they can find me and find each other. And that's kind of what I like about my streams. And you've got like your streams, which are like a bigger version of that. And then you got Mr. Smelly streams where people go for like current I'd say current affairs with a twist, you know, with like drama and stuff like that. And then you go to like Joey's stuff for like Joey's unique audience as well. You know, that's just to name 3 streams. There are other streams available. You know, we've all got like unique audiences in our own sort of way, and it's like we cater to that, and it's not necessarily even catering to it. Just go on and be like yourself, and you will attract people who like that, you know.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like my streams regularly get like 25, 30 people. Sometimes it gets up to like 40. Maybe like
I've
I think I've
seen
had
up to 50 or 60 once.
I was gonna say, yeah, like once or twice I've been up to like 50 or 60. I got like a nosebleed, you know what I mean? I was like, Christ, I was getting performance anxiety.
Yeah,
I'm
do you
happy,
find it like you're more conscious when you have more viewers in the chat?
not really. I was just being like flippant there, but it's like it's strange because it's not the usual crowd. I'm quite happy with like the 25 and 30 people who like show up and watch.
Yeah.
Because like you know them and they're like mates, and you can have like running themes, and it's like everybody gets each other's references, and like there are like running jokes and stuff like that, and I really like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's really like it.
Yeah, I enjoy them too. And I feel kind of like when there's not a stream, I'm like, oh. And I'll make a comment in the group chat. I was like, why isn't somebody streaming, for God's sake? But I definitely think there is enough, like all streamers could be streaming at the same time and there'd be enough audience for everybody. There'd be enough audience to go around. Nobody would be missing out.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's been a good stream. It was good. It was good having Thomas on, Incredible Hulk. I don't know why we call him that, but we do.
I think Thomas is referred to as the Hulk in real life.
Yeah, by his beard.
You wouldn't like. Yeah, you wouldn't like him when he's angry. Oh.
Eugene, I bought 200 ml backup of Le Male, Le Parfum. Well, not off of my recommendation. Who recommended them, Alexander? And 2 Sauvage Elixir in my sexy pill increase by 90%, and I'm safer for crisis. I'm happy for you. I'm glad that you're sexier. I do miss Thomas's videos though. I miss seeing Thomas and hearing his thoughts on perfume a lot. So
yes,
it
that's
was
right. He
great
deleted quite a few, didn't he?
yeah, him and Galen both deleted a lot of content.
Yeah.
That was a great stream the other night with the new kid on the block. Who's the new
Who
kid?
was it? Who did you have on the stream?
Lewis? I'm not sure who they were referring to. Sorry, it certainly takes some time getting used to you two, Eugene and Mitch. Does my scent library match to yours?
Let me read that. Sorry, it's been a long time getting used to Eugene and Mitch. Does my scent library? It's sometimes getting used to you too. That'll match up to yours. I don't know.
I don't think there's much to get used to. It's just two dudes talking about perfume and life.
Yeah, does my scent library match up to yours? Probably.
Oh,
I don't know what would define matching up to someone.
Yeah, I think you were talking about Marco Jones. Yeah, it was great having Marco on as well. All right. Anyway, Rich, it was great talking to you.
Nice talking to you. Always.
We'll cut it here a nice, just past 2 hours, so I don't want to extend it any longer. But we'll be back more often. I like the shorter streams. If I'm honest, I'd rather do more streams, but shorter in length, so more quantity, less length. But it was good chatting with you. It was good seeing Thomas. It was good seeing everybody in the chat. Well, hopefully we'll see you soon. Maybe you'll be streaming soon sometime.
Yes, not tonight. I need to make a video. I haven't made any this week since Sunday. I might do one tomorrow. You might say I might buy the moon in the night tomorrow. So you never know.
Oh,
I'll come on distinctly lighter in the wallet.
Awesome. That's okay. Money's just an illusion too, isn't it?
Yes, rather have perfume.
I'd rather have perfume too. Anyway, thanks, Rich. Thanks everybody in the chat. Love you. We'll talk to you all soon. Bye, everybody.
Love you. Goodbye.